Hey everyone, today I have 3 short stories to talk about. One of them is funny, one of them is sad, and one of them is more of like an animal love / reminder kind of story. So the first one started, it was the beginning of the pandemic when everyone was kind of limited to just staying home unless you had to go out for things like groceries, or you could go out and exercise. As long as you social distance, then you could take care of loved ones, or if you had an emergency appointment for a vet or dental work or something like that, you could go out. But for the most part, they wanted everyone for a little while to stay home so that we could get better handle on the virus and everything. So I was making dinner one day during that time, and it was some kind of pasta related thing. And I had the pot on the stove, and the water was coming to a boil, so I was gonna pour the pasta noodles in. Well, there was the box of pasta on the stove, on the counter next to the stove, and what I didn't know was that there was another box right next to it. And it felt pretty much the same, like they were pretty much identical to touch. And that happens a lot. That's why it's nice to have help in the grocery store when you're trying to locate things, because a lot of the boxes feel the same and stuff, and cans of food and stuff. And so I didn't know that the other box was there. And so I opened the box and I poured the ingredients in the water to boil. And it ended up being cheez-its, not pasta noodles. So when I realized what I did, I just immediately started cracking up laughing, and I turned the burner off, and I immediately took the pan to the sink, and I dumped everything out. And my boyfriend was upstairs at the time, and I was like, well, maybe I just won't tell him what happened, and I'll just make the pasta. So I clean up the pot and I make it ready to go again, and I add the water, and I go back and I realize, oh, the other box is right next to it. So that's what happened. So then I poured the pasta into the pan, and everything was good, but it still smelled like Cheez-Its a lot in the kitchen. So I ended up just telling him what happened because it was funny, and it was like we needed a laugh anyways. Like, who doesn't need a laugh, right? Sometimes. So you know, Cheez-It soup, that's what I came up with after that. It's like, hey, when all else fails and you don't know what else to eat, well, just make some of that, Cheez-It soup. And it made me also think about like the web and how important it is, like for accessibility reasons. Like, you got 2 identical boxes, just like you might have 2 buttons or something that needs to be labeled, or just the way you structure your website so that it's easy, or app or something for things to be identified and for you to know what's what, because like you can just click on something like, oops, the checkout box, and or like add this to my cart or something if you're trying to buy something, you know. And it was just it was a funny mistake, and there was some good humor in it, but hopefully, you know, but now I, you know, like with seeing AI, that helps, but I just didn't happen to have my phone at that instant to, anyways. So that's that story, and I still laugh about it now and again. Every time there's a box around that has that resembles the Cheez-Its or the box of pasta, or every time there is a box of pasta, I just think of that, and so it's just funny. So the next story is not funny, but so I did a video back early September of last year, of 2020, and it was a super beautiful day outside, and I just got my brand new cane, and it's a foldable cane that has a ball tip, and I really like it. It's blue and pink, and the ball tip is nice. It's like the step up from a marshmallow tip, and it glides a lot easier over the cracks in the sidewalk. So I did a video on it, and it's on my channel. I think it's just like my new cane or something. It's just like a minute something long video about it. And we took advantage of the beautiful weather to go out and do it. And we normally make a walk out of it, and we walk a couple miles, and we just kind of have a route that we stick to. And for part of it, we go to the park and stuff. So we went and we did the video, and I talked about my cane. And then we were leaving the park, and we were just heading off to like the rest of our walk, and we weren't by our house at all or anything like that. But and I got a phone call from my sister, and she had told me that over the night that we had lost my dad and that he passed in his sleep. And it was such a shock at the moment. And so I just, like, my boyfriend asked me if I wanted to go home, and I just said, let's just finish the walk. So we did. And it was just such a shocking thing. And so that's kind of what I've been dealing with, you know, my family have been dealing with, and it's a really difficult thing, but loss is obviously a part of life. We all lose people, and it's like you learn to live with it. It's still hard, it still sucks, it's still painful, but you learn that it is a part of life, and you learn to go on. And knowing that they wouldn't want you to be sad and mopey and dazed, you know, because of it and everything, and just staying like in a daze and that kind of thing, but doing what you can to live life to the fullest and to enjoy life and that kind of thing. So it's definitely challenging and hard at times still, but like I know that, you know, my dad would be proud of me, and that, like, you know, it doesn't get easier in one sense, but it does at the same time. So I just kind of wanted to share that, but it was the same day of that video and everything. So so my last little story is this. The other day I was making a tuna fish sandwich, and it was before like I add the mayo and everything, and my one cat loves tuna a lot. Like, what cat doesn't, right? But he's my older 10-year-old cat, and we have a very close bond and everything. And he came over, and I fed him a little piece of tuna before I added anything to it and everything. And I could feel him just take the tuna from me, and I could feel like his mouth open and close, and like I could hear his lips smacking around the tuna like it was like heaven for him, like, oh, this is the most delicious thing ever. And it just reminded me how, like, I already know this, but cats and dogs and like our pets and animals out in the wild, or maybe in the shelters or just wherever, they're definitely not stuffed animals. They have feelings. Their facial expressions tell how they feel, and I don't get to look at their face, but my boyfriend fills me in a lot on like how the cats look, like if they're looking like guilty, or if they're looking like, what, like I'm just sitting here being cute, or if they look, you know, look just super relaxed and chilled or something, or if they look crazy, like their eyes and stuff, like they're about to attack the other cat or something else and stuff. So I don't know why, I guess just the motion of his mouth and like him just taking the food from me, it just reminded me, like, you know, they enjoy things. They also can feel scared or unsure at things, or you know, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of emotions. And they obviously they feel like if you accidentally step on their tail, or you know, that kind of thing, or, you know, so I don't know, it just reminded me that, you know, our pets are really a part of our family, and we look at them and want the best for them. But yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to share. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Viewfinder, image, a person with stop recording video.